Konnichiwa, hello and welcome. This is Roy at Ninja 90, and today, since it's St. Patrick's Day, and I may as well review something green, plus I'm wearing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so you can't pinch me, I will be reviewing the NECA Godzilla 1956 United States poster version. And yeah, this is a pretty hard figure to come by nowadays, and I got some things to say about it, so let's get things started. And now, starting things off the box, because you know we got to talk about really cool looking boxes on this channel when we still have them. Of course, as you can see, the front of this box is basically the American poster for the 1956 Godzilla King of the Monsters movie. Not to get that confused with the Legendary Pictures Godzilla King of the Monsters, the 2019 movie. So, yeah. Don't get that confused. This is basically the US version of the original Godzilla movie, which was entitled Godzilla in Japan. And the 2019 release is the sequel to the 2014 movie by Legendary Pictures, and of course Toho Company. But anyway, getting a more in-depth view of the box, as you can see, it says Godzilla King of the Monsters. It's alive, raging through the world on a rampage of destruction. And we have some more advertisements for the movie right there. You can pause it and read that if you want to. We have at the bottom, it says awesome and then some. And it says that it includes poster backdrop that becomes a 3D diorama, which is basically inside. I have never taken that out because, yeah, I'm not about to cut the backboard on this box because I want to keep all that in there. But anyway, getting a closer look at the picture, as you can see, the Godzilla on the Americanized poster is actually a green colorization, but we all know the actual colorization of the suit does the colorization of the actual suit doesn't look like that. And he's firing off a orangish red heat ray atomic breath. Technically, yeah, they got Godzilla's skin color and the color of his dorsal spine's incorrect, but the color of his heat beam here for the 54 or L56, according to this figure, is actually the correct color for the original movie, because yeah, the SH Monster Arts Godzilla 1954 70th anniversary special edition figure actually came with the orange-ish red translucent heat ray breath effect part, very reminiscent to this one. So yeah, they actually got that right on the US poster for this movie. So that's actually pretty cool. That's a cool coincidence to actually realize. And of course, the top of the box, it says Godzilla King of the Monsters. We have the NECA logo in the top right. Ages 14 plus, so this is for older collectors. And of course, a warning label, choking hazard, letting you know that this is not something to eat. It's not food. It's not a McDonald's cheeseburger. It's technically yeah. Don't look at this and get hungry. That's what those warning labels are for. But anyway, the inside of the box, we see another really cool picture of the figure right there, and it's showing you how the how it will look with the 3D poster diorama if you would use it. But yeah, I still think it looks pretty cool. And here is the inside of the box, where I already took the figure out, and you can actually see that 3D backdrop diorama in there. The side of the box says pretty much the same thing at the top of the box, but it says 65th anniversary from 1954 to 2019, which is I would say 5 years out of date. Well, 6 now, because we're in 2025. So technically, unfortunately, this figure is expired. I guess I'm going to have to throw it out. Not exactly. Action figures never go bad. I'm just joking. And of course, it says the same thing on the other side of the box. Let's turn it around to the back. Here's where things get interesting. We see some really cool pictures of the figure there in different poses, and it says all kind of different cool phrases. We have, it says savage action, and we have authentic color, screams just like the 1956 poster, and we have all that cool stuff. Then demonic violence, and we have a diabolical demon. Not exactly, because Godzilla's not exactly inherently evil. Breathing fire, and yeah, the plot to the movie, if you want to pause that and read it. And of course, we have the Godzilla logo, well, the Kaiju logo, and we have the Toho logo. The bottom of the box, turn it, we have the NECA logo. It says Real Toys, and yeah, we have a serial number and pretty much an uninteresting barcode. So it pretty much wraps things up for the box. So now let's get on to the figure. And now, here we have the NECA Godzilla, King of the Monsters 1956 United States movie poster version right here before us in all of this super cool, awesome atomic glory. As you can see, this is a pretty good, well detailed, pretty good articulated figure. As you can see, he is sporting the color scheme of the Americanized 1956 Godzilla King of the Monsters movie poster. He is basically comprised of a green colorization with some sort of pinkish red dorsal spines there. His dorsal spines are kind of this rubbery material, so you don't have to worry about cutting yourself on these dorsal spines, unlike some of the SH Monsters figures. So that's pretty good, although I wouldn't like bend them too much or anything, because you don't want them to rip. Also, getting a closer look, as you can see, he's also sporting some neon green, lime green highlighting all throughout his body. Looking really nice. I really like how they have that lime green wash on him. Looking really cool. And we also see some sort of dark green, blackish dry brushing as well. So we do have that. We have more of a dark green colorization on the underside of his neck, his inner arms, his lower torso and belly, and his inner legs and inner thighs there, as well as the underneath of his tail. Sports a more darker color. As you can see, we see those very beautiful bone white teeth at the front of his mouth, but as you open his mouth, you see that they basically transition into, yeah, the usual black and white gray colorization. And, well, bringing him up, and the inside of his mouth is, yeah, it's technically black and white style gray colorization as well. So, yeah. Not all parts in this figure is repainted, but it's still cool. Getting a closer look, we bringing him up again, we can see his terrifying eyes looking at you with that menacing gaze, and we could also see his little bitty small Godzilla ears there. looking really nice. And then getting a closer look at those dorsal spines again. Those 1954 dorsal spines, or 1956 in this case. Really nice. I like the way they're well sculpted and well shaped out, bringing this figure out quite nicely. As far as articulation with this figure, of course, I already demonstrated the mouth can open and close on a hinge joint. The head can move independently from the neck, and the neck can also turn a full 360 as well, and the opposite way. You can basically cranium revolvus the heck out of this figure if you want to. And of course, we can look up about that much, down about that much, we can look right, and we can look left. Arm articulation, the arms, while the shoulders are on ball joints, so you can bring them up about that much, back down about that much. We can rotate them a full 360 if we choose to. Same is true with the other side. We have the elbows on a hinge joint, so we can bend them out like so and bring them back. And we also have a swivel at the elbow as well. We have the wrist, which is also on ball joints, so we can swivel that wrist all the way around a full 360 as you are witnessing. The fingers are on a hinge, so we can open and close those fingers as well. Same is true with the other hand, so as you can see, we can open and close those fingers. The waist is on a ball joint, so we do have an ab crunch with this figure, so we can make him look all the way down and back up, and we can rock him side to side, and we can lean side to side like so, and we can rotate him a full 360 as if he would be Mecha Godzilla in disguise. And now moving right along and down to the lower body portion of the figure. The hips are on a ball joint, so we can't really spread the hips out too much, because if we try to force it, we're going to break those ball joints in the hips, and we really don't want to do that, because NECA figures are really hard to replace by this point, because they are discontinued because NECA no longer has the legal license. And this one is a rare figure, so I really don't want to break this one. But anyway, the hips can rotate a full 360 on the ball joint, so we can do that. The knees are on a hinge joint, but yeah, they are really tight. As you can see, they can move, but due to the sculpt and the tightness of the hinges, yeah, they're like really stiff, and they take a lot of elbow grease and muscle power to actually get moving. So yeah, it's kind of pointless to try to bend the knees on these figures. Well, this one anyway. The feet are on basically a swivel, so we can swivel them a full 360. And I believe we can also point them a little bit, not much, because the swivel is kind of on like this semi-ball joint, but not really getting a whole lot of range of motion out of the feet with this one. And also the claws on the feet are of a gray colorization, and his fingernails are, well, yeah, they're basically the lime green and a little bit of gray on the thumb, and yeah, but yeah, it looks cool overall. Now, getting back to the tail. The tail is comprised of a 1, 2, 3, 4 articulation segments, so we can move it a little bit like that. We can bring it up about that much, back down about that much. We can put them in a semi, sort of, if I can, there we go, sort of Godzilla versus the Smog Monster, or Godzilla versus Hedorah flying pose there. And of course, the tail, the tip of the tail is a bendy wire, but I'm not going to be bending mine because I don't want to be at risk of breaking the wire or ripping the tail. So I believe that's understandable. Yeah, so far so good. I really like this figure, and he is a much appreciated part of my collection, especially my NECA collection. And best of all, he actually comes with a heat ray breath effect part. So basically, how you apply this, you open up his mouth, and if I can find it, you see that pig hole at the back of his throat there, at the back of the roof of his mouth. What you do is you take this and you make sure the rounded part is at the top, and what you do is you insert that into his mouth, and there you have it. He's firing off his heat ray breath. Well, he's firing off his atomic breath, technically. So he's getting ready to burn Tokyo down to the ground. This is a pretty cool figure, and yeah, I like him. And with that said, it is now time to get into my final verdict and give you my final thoughts and opinions on this figure and wrap this review up. So let's get to it. And now for my final verdict on the NECA Godzilla King of the Monsters 1956 United States poster version here. If I have to give him a score based on detail, articulation, and playability, I have to give him a drumroll, please. A solid, well-deserved 5 out of 5 star score. Why? Because, number one, it's a NECA figure. I do have to give it some leeway for not having the best posability. So I'm not taking points off for that. But moving right along to detail, I feel this figure is very well detailed. It is a pretty cool addition to your Godzilla collection, or your NECA Godzilla collection, so to speak, which can also go along with your SH Monster Arts and Hiya Toys collection as well. So like I said, I really like the detail, and so far no other company has put out a figure quite like this except for NECA. So yeah, we haven't seen a 1956 Americanized poster color version from SH Monster Arts or Hiya Toys yet. I think that would be a really cool thing for them to do. And of course, articulation with this figure, now getting into articulation, is really good. Although, like I said, it is technically not as well articulated as an SH Monster Arts or a Hiya Toys Godzilla figure, but I mean, this was a $20 budget line from back in the day, so I'm not taking points off. It is what it is. You get what you pay for. So, I mean, it does have some points of articulation. It's just not as much as what some people would expect, but I still give it a pass in articulation, since we do get more than enough articulation segments. As far as playability wise, joint tolerance, how well this figure stays together. Although, like you witnessed, the hip joints with this one is kind of stiff, but like I said, it's a NECA figure, so I'm not taking points off for that. A lot of NECA Godzilla figures are notorious for having stiff knee joints, so that's to be expected. That's why I'm not taking points off. But as far as articulation, yeah, he does have a lot of ranges of movement, as you are seeing now. So yeah, that's not a complaint that I have with this figure. I still like him. I still appreciate him overall. And as far as playability, joint tolerance wise, how well does this figure stay together? How much can you pose him? How much can you play with them without this figure falling apart? And I would say the playability with this figure is really good. You can pose him. You can move all his different joints and everything. You can battle with other figures. You can do stop motion, and yeah, he doesn't fall apart. So that is an overall pass. So that basically concludes why I give this figure a 5 out of 5 stars score. Now, of course, your opinion may be different. You know, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but I'm just giving you mine. But rather or rather not, I recommend buying this figure today. If you're going to be dealing with the secondary collectors market, especially with this one, for the price you're going to be paying, the markup price you're going to be paying for a $20 figure, you probably not. You would be better off putting that money toward an SH Monster Arts or Hiya Toys figure by that point. But anyway, guys, if you made it this far into the video, thank you guys all so much for watching. I appreciate that deeply. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, stay safe, take care, God bless, and peace out.